Bang. Hello, everybody. This is Kevin B., host of Let's Talk About Adoption podcast with my co-host, Ginger Baerg, who is also the author of My Patchwork Family. First, we want to say Happy New Year's to everybody. Happy New Year's to Ginger.
Happy New Year's to you too.
And we hope everyone has a great new year. 2021 is here, and we're looking to do big things. So, with all that being said, Ginger, so let's just jump right in. I don't have no script or anything. Like I tell everybody, we just go ahead. So, just looking at your blog and talking to you and your summary that you sent me, your bio. Your family is truly a patchwork.
Yes, so we have 3 biological kids and 2 kiddos that we've adopted, but we've fostered a total of 6 kids,
Wow.
4 of which no longer live with us, and then 2 that we adopted.
Okay, the ones that no longer with you, do they still contact you?
So 2 of them, yes, because it's kind of a long story and I can't tell the details, but 2 of them are actually the biological brothers of one of the kiddos we adopted.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had all 3 of them when they were younger, and then they left. And while they were gone and in those years they weren't with us, they actually got split.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 2 boys found a forever home, but my daughter was, separated from them and didn't have a home, and so we've since adopted them. So we obviously are in contact with her biological brothers to maintain that relationship, but that's actually the only one that we're still in contact with of the ones that we fostered that aren't with us anymore.
Okay, so Ginger, what made you decide to become a foster parent?
So it actually came, I don't know, I guess out of nowhere. We hadn't been thinking about that. We had planned to just have, like the traditional family.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted 4 kids and, just, I don't know, the American dream, I guess you would say. And then one time I was at church at a woman's ice cream social, and I was just sitting there eating my ice cream, and a woman from our church who they've adopted quite a few kiddos. They were in the process of adopting their 3rd at that time. And she was just sharing how they were called to adoption and their story. And I was just sitting there eating my ice cream, and I knew that I was supposed to adopt them. My family was supposed to adopt. So I came home and I told my husband, I was like, hon, I think we're supposed to adopt. And at that point he was like, nope, I don't think so. That's not what I think. And so I just started praying. I was like, okay, God, if you really want us to adopt, I want you to speak to Dustin personally so that he's hearing that too. And about a few months later, there was just one day he came in and he's like, you're right, we're supposed to adopt. And so from that moment on, we started researching and talking to all of our friends and family that have adopted, because we have some that have adopted overseas, through foster care, infant adoption. And we looked at all those types of adoptions to see which one we felt like we were called to. And my husband was finishing up his engineering degree at that time because he went back to school. And so we used that semester to really just pray and research. And at the end of it, we both felt very strongly that foster care with the option of possibly adopting kids that needed that was where we were called. So after he finished his engineering degree, we started, taking the classes to become a licensed foster care family.
Wow, that's amazing. How do you said you have 1 biological?
3 biological, actually.
How are the ages? Are they in the teens now, or?
Yeah, so currently my biological kids are 13, 11, and 9.
Mm-hmm.
And it was when my youngest was 2 that we started doing foster care.
So how's that relationship with all the the dynamics? Is it pretty good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one thing, my kids obviously have flaws like all kids, but one thing I'm so proud of them, I'm so proud of them in their heart, is that whenever we brought kids into our house, they loved them immediately. There was no reserve. There was no let me just see how you are. And then maybe I'll love you. It was like, who can we love on next? And obviously when the kids would leave our house, especially, a lot of the times we did most of ours were long-term placements. Like we'd have them for like a year. And so obviously when they would leave, we would all be heartbroken, it's like part of your family leaving.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But still, even with that, as soon as more kids came into our house, I mean, it was immediate, like, all right, we're going to love on you. You're my family. And so that's one thing I've been so proud. And that's actually my book. I wrote it from the perspective of my oldest biological son, like his perspective of our family and how it grew, and just the foster care system, you know, how that affected him, and then the adoption and stuff like that. Because I feel like it's important to, I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh man, the parents, we need to encourage the parents, which I appreciate and I do. But the kids also, I mean, they're giving parts of their heart, you know, to these kids every time too. And I feel like a lot of times that's not acknowledged or appreciated, just their sacrifice and their investment. And I think that the kids can make just as much of a difference, if not more, if those kiddos coming in will feel loved and accepted, you know, is whether the other kids in the house love and accept them, you know, even more, I think sometimes.
They're gonna be dealing with each other probably even more than the parents, because you know, at night they sleep together, you know, they go outside together, they play together, go to school together. So they, you know, they kind of intermingle a little bit more with the parents. The parents are basically, they're kind of like at an authority figure, but you know, when it goes down, you know, when it's all said and done, the kids are the one that's intermingling together. That's
Agreed.
Great. Well, speaking about your book, when did your book come out?
So it just got to me about 2 weeks ago. So it is like,
congratulations.
Thank you. I am super excited. It's been a long process, and it's finally here.
So what made you decide to write the book? Tell us about it, and tell us if you're going to do another one, and where you can get the book at and all that good stuff.
Sure. So what's kind of inspired the book is when our oldest daughter that we adopted came to live with us. We knew we were going to adopt her, but we also knew it's a process, and it takes, I don't know how long it takes in other places, but in Kansas, it takes almost like 1 year to 2 years, even, you know, when you know you're going to adopt, they want to be adopted, just all of that. And so we wanted to do something when she first came to live with us, so she felt a part of the family and that we're committed to forever, even though it was going to take a while. So we did like a family photo shoot with all of us. And then after that, I took all of those pictures and I made like a little video with the pictures, with talking about how everyone in our family was a part of our quilt. And the kids really liked that. And I could tell, you know, especially with my oldest daughter, that it meant a lot to her. And so then I was like, maybe I should just write this out, you know, like make a little story for our family. It was originally just for our family. And I, as a high school math teacher, I have a lot of friends that are high school English teachers. So I asked a few to edit it to make sure it was good. And that was actually when a few of them really encouraged me, like, hey, this is an amazing story. Like, your family needs to be shared, like this story, this perspective. And at that point, I wasn't really ready to share my story because, you know, like you, like, that's me, that's my family, that's very personal. And as soon as you put it out there, you're opening it up to judgment, to other people's opinions. And at that point, I was just not ready. I was like, no, I'm going to keep this to myself and my family. And then, you know, within a few years, I realized, no, it is time to share our story. Like, there's other families out there that need to hear this. They need to open this conversation about foster care and adoption with their kids, you know, that kind of a thing. And so, so I started the process of self-publishing and getting that printed and everything like that. But it's a children's book, so it's good for, you know, any age. And as I said, it's written from the perspective of my oldest son, and it talks about just our family. It talks a little bit about like my husband and I falling in love and get married and then having some kids. And one thing that's always been true is my son always wanted a little brother, but we ended up having 2 biological daughters after him. And then when we told him that we weren't having any more kids, you know, biologically, he was like, oh man, I'm never going to have a little brother. And then it ended up that, you know, we had some kids come to live with us and then move out. But the first kiddo that we adopted was actually a boy. And so Dominic will still sometimes, you know, say like, I still can't believe I have a brother. Like, I finally got a brother. And so I kind of stress that in the book. And then I also talk about how we adopted our older daughter as well, and how we kind of all come together as a patchwork quilt. And so I just think it's really cool, whether or not you have experience with foster care adoption, it's an awesome book to start that conversation and educate you know, your kids and your family, just about what that looks like. And if you're thinking about it, I feel like it's a really good story with your own children to kind of help explain, you know, what that's going to be like.
What was the best part of when you was going through the process of the interviewing your son and talking and just getting the book together? What was the best part of of making the book itself?
To be honest, I think it was just how amazing I call them my tribe, you know, like my people. They like were so encouraging. They were so supportive. I mean, like I did a Kickstarter to raise the money to print all the books. And I was just blown away by everyone who was willing to contribute to pay for that. And like the people that you know, I would not expect. They were just like, hey, I don't even want any of these rewards. I just want to give you money because I want this to be out there for other people. Or I want to buy books to donate to go to families that do foster care. And I was just, it's like, I know that my tribe is amazing. Like, I know that God's put people in my life to encourage me, but like to see it, to like really see it flesh out, I was just totally blown away. And that was probably just the most amazing part of the whole process.
Wow. Well, I definitely want to thank you for all you do. Me being a foster kid person and also being adopted and later finding my family and stuff, it's you know, given the opportunity and a chance to flourish in the family, it's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. And a lot of people don't realize that. And I'm glad that you're, like you said, you know, you're putting yourself out there because a lot of people sometimes look at adoption very negatively. You know, it's like anything in life. There's always good and there's always bad, but also it all depends on what people's motives are and the final product. And you can take that with anything. And we have a lot of people like yourself that you know that are not out there as much as they should be to tell the positivity and the dynamics and how this family was just stitched together. And from a perspective of your biological kid, that's a great angle right there. And so hopefully it'll reach out. I know it will reach out and touch families. And that's why I do what I do is try to give some type of platform with people like yourself and myself. They can give different perspectives on their experiences. So what we're going to do is, where's your book located at?
So you can buy it on Amazon if you just search My Patchwork Family. And then I also have just a website for my book. Okay. It's just mypatchworkfamilybook.com. And you can buy it from that as well. So either one is good.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put your link to your book on my own web page once this holiday stuff is done. And also I'm going to put the links and everything included in the bio on our YouTube handle too. So like I said, we really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your story. And you're more than welcome to come again because I'm sure that he'd probably be writing another one.
Actually, my oldest daughter and I have already started writing, and the second book is gonna be her story.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna be from her perspective as a child that was in foster care for a long time and then was adopted. And I thought it was super important that she have control of her own story,
right? That
she got to decide what and how much was shared when. And so she felt like she was ready after the first one. And so she helped me with telling me, okay, I'm okay with you sharing this. We're not going to share this, you know. And so I'm super excited. So hopefully in a year or so, that'll be available too to give kind of both perspectives of our family.
We're definitely going to have you back, Ginger, and can't wait for this happening. Is this going to drop this sometime this year or?
So it kind of depends. It's one of those. I just finally got the other books in, so I'm trying to get them out to everybody, and then hopefully be able to get enough money to pay for the illustrations and stuff on the next one. So my illustrator gave me way too good of a deal on the first one. She's amazing. And so I told her I was going to make sure I paid her appropriately on the second one. So trying to get enough money for that.
Good. All right. So we're going to wrap things up. Like I said, we're honored and excited to have you on, and we're looking forward to part 2 of this great journey of yours.
Awesome.
And we want to let everybody know out there in podcast land that adoptees, foster care individuals. You can be strong. You can do anything, accomplish anything you want to be. Stay strong. Have a great, exciting, amazing New Year's, and we'll be seeing you. Peace.
Awesome. Thank you.